everyone. Welcome once again to y'all's favorite time of the week. Welcome to the Alphabets Football Talk Show on with the Rise Up family and the OnPoint Network. I am your host, Marcus the Alphabet, and for the next hour and 40 minutes or so, we'll be discussing football and everything going on in the NFL. Please like and share the show, okay? And as usual, I'd like to introduce my co-host, my beautiful co-host, lovely Miss Ramona Diehard Die. She's in the house. Steelers extraordinaire. Got her up in the house. How you doing? How you doing, Mona? You doing all right?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you tonight?
I'm good. So we're gonna get this party started. Sorry, we're running a little bit behind, couple of minutes behind, but we're gonna knock this out. Like I said, please like and share the show. And here we go. And as usual, we always start off with the news and notes. We always start off with everything that's going on in the NFL. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. We are exactly 13 days away from kickoff. First game of the season next Thursday. Not this Thursday, but the Thursday after. So we got it's here, and we're hoping that everything goes well. We all see what's going on in a lot of the other leagues. I hope we get some of these things resolved. I really don't want to go into that too much. Some of the other shows with the Rise Up family went into that. Shout out to Devon Stanfield and all the guys, Goldie Hawkins, all those guys over there with Fresh Perspective Sports. I hope we have football. I hope there's a lot of other things going on, societal issues. We'll just stick to the football and we'll go from there. One of the biggest stories that's going on, everybody saw, I guess the Baltimore Ravens just had enough of they had enough of Earl Thomas. They just decided to cut him and eat his salary. Good thing for them, though, they gave him a lot of the money up front, and they're seeking the $10 million, but they say he was acting a damn fool over there. I don't know if you heard, Mona, everything that was said about what was going on over there with him. First, he had some type of incident with his wife and his brother. And we here at the Rise Up family do not condone orgies and things like that. But anyways, he was caught in a very compromising situation. We'll just leave it at that. A very compromising situation. And then it was found out that he punched one of his teammates, and they just got fed up with it. And I'm thinking that when they just release you like that, and everybody in your team is just like, get this guy out of here, I'm thinking that there's several instances that were going on where I don't think it was one isolated incident. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think he was looking for a reason to get out. When players start acting like that and going to the extreme like that, I think that's their way, players' way of trying to get out of Dodge. What are your thoughts on that, Mona? What do you think?
Well, it kind of makes me wonder if they haven't been trying to push him out. I kind of think that the team is trying to get young. New talent, so to speak. And I think they've been slowly building I think a dynasty team. I really do. A lot of people have the misconception of thinking I am a Baltimore Ravens hater. And nothing could be further from the truth. I am far from hating the Baltimore Ravens. I never have. Quite honestly. But there's only one team in my division that I absolutely cannot stand, and they're irrelevant right now, although they did get a pretty good quarterback in the draft, and that would be Joe Burrows, and that would be the Cincinnati Bengals. Just I've always had a discord with Cincinnati. Um, I remember the old Cleveland Browns rivals, kind of thing. So yeah, I just think that Baltimore, and we were discussing it, and you know how I am. I am a diehard Steeler fan through and through, and I got my dander up a little bit before the show started. That's what happened. We were talking football and got a little sidetracked on starting the show on time. So, but I absolutely think that this team, my biggest issue is that they have to get past one and done, and they've done that the last two seasons. And I'm not saying that Ben Roethlisberger is going to come out and be the quarterback he was in 2015, because I don't think he will be. We all know he's a year older, but we also know he had a year off and his body is a little more rusty, not so beat up after having a full season. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'm looking at one of the comments in here, and Willem Bombard, shout out to Ace. He said, "Why would he want out of a Super Bowl contender?" And I posed the question back to him: Why would AB and Bell want out of Pittsburgh? Why would Earl Thomas want out of Seattle when he was there? Sometimes it gets to a point the relationship is fractured. The relationship is fractured, and there's just like no go. Why would DeAndre Hopkins want out of Houston? I mean, sometimes the relationships, there's a difference with coaching. Why would Marshawn Lynch want out of Seattle?
Well,
why would Brett Favre want?
And I agree with you on that to a point. But let's also keep in mind. Let's also remember, two of those players you mentioned played for my Pittsburgh Steelers. We knew Le'Veon Bell was going after the money. Point blank period. We knew that was happening. And what people don't seem to understand, and obviously do not even believe, the players who were there, a year or two previously, before AB acted the fool after the Vontaze Burfict hit, there was problems in that locker room with AB prior to the 2018 season. I mean, you got Ryan Clark coming out and talking about it, talking about how he was disrespectful to Dick LeBeau, and does he not realize that defense that he's going to be pissing off, he's got to practice against? I mean, because that whole defense loved Dick LeBeau. And he was very disrespectful to him. I mean, that was one of the key things Ryan Clark talked about. This man, he got too big, too fast in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in my opinion, he let it go to his head, and it continued even off of the football field. Look what he did in Oakland. Look what he did in New England. He was settling down and playing some football in New England, but his past came up to bite him in the butt. Granted, whether or not it was deserving or not, but then you go on national TV or on video, and you're sitting there cussing your baby mama in the streets in front of the police. I mean, come on. The man has created his own havoc everywhere he goes. So,
that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the relationship becomes so fractured. Why did look at what T.O. did when he was with the Eagles? I mean, he acted a damn fool with the Eagles, and they had went to the Super Bowl.
And I'm going to disagree with you on that. He didn't act the fool with the Eagles. The Eagles absolutely didn't do what they promised him. They did not fulfill their promises to Terrell Owens. You do realize that T.O., when he went to the Philadelphia Eagles, went for kind of minimal money. But they promised him if he helped them get to a Super Bowl, which he did, then that's when his money would come in. Well, his money didn't come in. T.O. is the only one that showed up for that Super Bowl. Donovan McNabb, the alphabet soup king, is thrown up in the middle of the field, which I know people say, oh, well, we never did see any proof that he actually threw up on the field. But we know he was sick. We knew he was having some problems managing the clock during that Super Bowl. It wasn't T.O.'s fault that they did. And they also knew what they were buying when they brought him from San Francisco.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, look, T.O. acted a fool everywhere he went. And his acting a fool wasn't like, I'm not going to put him in the same category as, like, you know, me and Devon, shout out to my boy, the professional Devon Samfield. We had went back and forth, and, you know, he got a little upset with me when I talked about the comparison with like a Josh Gordon. You know, that it's totally different. T.O. was all, but he still, when everywhere you go, there's an issue and you have a problem. He had issues in San Francisco. He had issues in Philly. He had issues in Dallas. Everywhere he went, he had issues. You have to eventually get to the point where, okay, maybe it's not everybody else. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Now, Earl Thomas, you know, what was it, 2 years ago when he was still playing with Seattle, he ran into the Cowboys locker room after Jason Garrett and told him, hey, come get me. I think that Earl Thomas has always wanted to play with the Cowboys. And you know, I just think that's what it is. He made it very well known that he wanted to play for the Cowboys. And the Cowboys actually made a move for him, but they wanted a first-round pick. Seattle wanted his first-round pick, and Dallas was not willing to part with his first-round pick, especially after giving up a first-round pick for Amari Cooper the previous year. So they didn't want to go 2 years without a first-round pick. So they're like, we'll give you a second-round pick, but we're not giving you a first-round pick. And every time since a team has tried to get a first-round pick from Dallas, they said no. The Jets wanted a first-round pick for Jamal Adams, and they said no. You know, it sucks when you don't have a first-round pick. So if he really wants to be in Dallas, this is his opportunity. You know, with everything that's happened with him, I'm giving him a prove-it deal. You know, game by game, however many games, an incentive-laden deal. If you really want to come to Texas, you want to come back, because let me tell you something. Your money is going to go a whole lot further in Texas than it is going to go in Baltimore, because there ain't no state income tax here. You know what I'm saying? All his family's here. So we'll see what happens. The Cowboys are the front runner. And we'll see what happens with it. That's kind of, you know, it's kind of like an ongoing story. We'll see what happens as far as that. So that was like the big story for this week. There's other stuff. I don't really want to spend too much time on that. But with us being 2 weeks away from the actual season, live fire, I always like to make predictions, because people always, you know, hindsight's always 20/20. Hindsight is always 20. Oh, I said this. Well, here's a good thing about video. We can go back and check when people make crazy claims and say this and say that. We can go back to this show. Remember this. We're going to look at this show in December or so, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna double check, and everything that was said. Well, I said this. No, I don't remember you saying that. So, and that goes for y'all in there in the comment section too. If y'all make some crazy predictions, we got that on tape where we can pull it back up, and you will be called to the carpet. So this is mine and Ramona's predictions for the upcoming season, and we're going to start off with defense first, okay? And I really want you guys to get involved here. I want to see a lot of comments in the comment section. Please make sure y'all are liking and sharing the show. Like and share. Give us your thoughts. We really like to hear from you guys. So my co-host, as you all know, she's very defensive. She loves defense. She just loves it. She makes no qualms about that. She doesn't pretend about it at all. So we're going to start with defense, and we're going to start with, who do we think will be the defensive player of the year? And Ramona, I'm going to pass it to you. I'm I'm gonna pass it to you. And I want to know. Tell me what you think. Everybody out there in the comment section, based off of what you all are seeing, and looking at your teams during these training camps and stuff, from what you've seen, and just gut feeling from things that you saw last year. Put that back up for me real quick, please.
Okay.
Now we have a list of players that a lot of people think it may be. It doesn't have to be off of this list, guys. We're just kind of things that players that we just kind of looked at and we thought, well, maybe one of these guys. But I want to know. I'm asking you, Ramona. Then I'm going to ask everybody in the comment section, who do you think is going to be the defensive player of the year and why? And Ramona, I will leave it in your capable hands. What do you think?
I think that I think it's going to be one of my boys or my Steelers. I think it's either going to be a T.J. Watt, and I'm going to actually tip the hat towards him more so because he was so close last year. But Minka Fitzpatrick was on fire last year, and that defense is only going to get better if Ben Roethlisberger is at least 70% healthy and can stay in the game. Because one thing that Ben can do, he is a field general. He is a field manager. That's what he does. He manages the field. He is not the superstar quarterback throwing the ball down the field, but he can, and he has done so in the past. But let's face the facts. I know he's 38 years old. Okay, I understand this, and he's coming off of a season-ending injury from last season of his throwing arm with the elbow injury. But honest to goodness, I really think that even if he's 70%, he's better than our backups. Whether he can stay healthy in the game. But I also think that if something happens and he doesn't stay healthy in the game and Mason Rudolph has to step back on that field, I would think that knowing that he is obviously the future of this team, since we didn't draft a quarterback in the draft, I would think that he's been working on making his game better. I do know, watching an interview with Tomlin and a couple other of the coaches throughout the offseason, that they had said that, they put Mason Rudolph in first season ever to play in the NFL as far as a regular NFL season games. And they put him in and told him, don't throw interceptions. Don't throw away the game. Manage the game. Was he the same type of manager that Ben Roethlisberger was his first season? No, he wasn't. But TJ Watt, absolutely. I think TJ is going to step it up this year. I really think that you'll see him step it up. But I'm going to tell you something. Minka Fitzpatrick, that defense is going to be extraordinary, I think, with a quarterback who can manage the clock. So That's my opinion.
Okay. I'm looking at this list here. And I mean, you got some incredible players here. I mean, you're looking at some very talented players on this. Some very talented players on this list. But I'm gonna go away from this. I'm gonna actually go away from this list, and I am gonna go with Nick Bosa. I'm going with Nick Bosa. I think Nick Bosa last year, from what I saw from him, I think you got the players that they picked up on that defense, and I think the team was like really. They kept getting put in really bad positions. Phillip Rivers really put that defense in a bad situation, and they had. This was a team they had. Speaking of your Steelers, who had a lot of injuries last year, the Chargers had a lot of injuries too, and then Phillip Rivers fell off a cliff, and he was a turnover machine last year and put them in very bad situations. I think when you look at what the Chargers have, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, I said Nick Bosa. I'm sorry, I meant Joey Bosa.
I was going to say,
Joey Bosa, not Nick. I like Nick too, but I think Joey Bosa this year, after getting the contract just got, and I have to check. I have to check and see. He just signed a big deal. I think Joey Bosa with Melvin Gordon on the other side, and you look at Derwin James coming back fully healthy, and the linebacker that they drafted, the boy out of Oklahoma. I just think that these guys are. I thought last year they were very underrated. And I just, like I said, Phillip Rivers, when your quarterback keeps putting you in bad situations, when your quarterback keeps putting you in bad situations, it makes it where it's hard. I don't care if you're the 85 Bears. We had a show. We had a show a few weeks back. 85 Bears, 76 Steelers, 2,000 Ravens. We talked. 2002 Bucks. Shout out to my boy Buck Flair. Woo! But it's tough when your quarterback keeps putting you in bad situations. And Phillip Rivers put them in really bad situations last year. Now, I don't know who's good, Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert, they're going to have to battle that out. I think Tyrod probably starts for the first few games. And then eventually, Justin Herbert was picked to be the successor there. He was picked to be the quarterback of the future. And the kid is ultra talented. I like the weapons that they have on offense, but their defense, I think that their defense is going to put them in a lot of really good situations. And I'm going to go with Joey Bosa. Over there with the
comments.
Let's do it. Let's see here. Let's see. Willem Bombard said, let's see, where's he at? He said, Willem Bombard, he's actually, I'm gonna go back up. Dalton Smith says Cameron Jordan. I can see with the Saints. Let's see here. Willem Bombard, Ace, Trey White, Flectron Moore says Aaron Donald. Chuck Thomas says Buffalo White Leonard. Buffalo White, Trey White, I guess, Leonard or Buckner for Colts or Bosa 49ers. That's Nick Bosa. Chandler Jones, didn't think of TJ Watt and Shaq at the special mission.
Okay, yeah. Okay, never mind. You were talking about us a minute ago, and I got confused.
Yeah, Laura Randall says Tyrann Mathieu.
And that's Rick Bobby, by the way.
Okay. Let's see here. So yeah, that's some of the people we got there. And look, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to say something, and I said this on another show, and I take a lot of flack up here every week. Somebody calls me a Buffalo Bills hater. Shout out to my people in Buffalo, the 716. But look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I call balls and strikes. I think Trey White is one of the top 2 or 3 cornerbacks in the league. And I would not be surprised if Trey White wins it. There could have been, when you look at, we looked at me and Dre, we did the top 100 last week, and we had some real bad disagreements with some of the players that were left off of there, and to just have Stephon Gilmore. And Stephon Gilmore, don't get me wrong, he's an incredible cornerback. And, he could have went either way. But he's not 20 or 30 spots better than Trey White. He's just not. No. And I think sometimes where you play, a lot of guys get a lot of favoritism or whatever. I think Trey White's an awesome talent. And he's going to get his chance. He's going to get his opportunity this season to really show himself, show what kind of player he is, and really set himself out there. So I wouldn't be surprised with that either. So moving on, staying on the defensive side of the ball, we saw a lot of defensive players go. Some of them were I was very surprised with some of them. You can see the list here: AJ Terrell out of Clemson, Isaiah Simmons, another Clemson boy, hybrid safety linebacker type, Kim Law, big kid out of South Carolina, CJ Henderson, cornerback out of Florida, and Patrick Queen, where was Patrick Queen out of? I
Uh,
forget what.
I'll tell you.
Where was Patrick Queen? I forget where Patrick Queen was at. But he was one of the higher ranked linebackers, along with the linebacker out of Oklahoma. I think it was Murray. I think that was his last name. But you looking at these kids, these young men here coming into the league.
Louisiana State.
Where?
Louisiana State.
Oh, LSU. Patrick Queen. Okay, yeah. And look, you got some extremely talented young rookies coming into the league. Now, I think they're somewhat at a disadvantage because of the COVID thing, the pandemic thing, and they're not being preseason games. I was actually a little bit surprised. I saw video of AJ Terrell doing drills versus Julio Jones, and he was giving Julio Jones fits. He was giving him fits, and I was very impressed with what I saw from him. Ken Law, he's kind of got to step in there with the 49ers losing Buckner. He just kind of has to slide into there. CJ Henderson, I thought he was the second best corner in the draft behind the kid out of Ohio State. And I'll go to you again, Ramona. Looking at this list or somebody else that's kind of caught your eye, is there a rookie coming in this season that has caught your eye? Looking at some of the training camp, looking at some of the news and things like that, is there anybody who's caught your eye or somebody from the draft that really impressed you? Who do you think is going to be the defensive rookie?
Every one of them on this list.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they all have. I think Isaiah Simmons is probably going to absolutely help the Cardinals defense. But here's my problem. My problem with him is he can't do it by himself. And if I'm not mistaken, Arizona's defense last year allowed more points than any other NFL team last year. Or they were at least in the top, 2 or 3 for sure, that allowed more points scored against them. So I think these defensive players who come into the NFL out of college, for one, I think our defenses and these defensive players are getting the short end of the stick as opposed to offensive players coming out of the draft, because we all know that a shortened preseason, no preseason games, a shortened training camp, not a full regular training camp. A lot of these kids are getting cut, because they haven't had the opportunity to go out and show how they could improve from the beginning of a training camp to the end of training camp kind of thing. So a lot of these kids are being cut. And I think offensively, those players are going to probably stay on these teams a little bit longer than some of the defensive players who aren't going to be able to translate and show their talents on the field. I am hoping that these teams who have drafted these guys, these young kids, are realizing we're not seeing even the tip of the iceberg with these defensive players. Everybody gets excited about the quarterbacks and the receivers and the running backs coming out of the draft. Me, I'm a defensive girl. I love Isaiah Thompson. AJ Terrell is going to be a hell of a pickup for the Falcons. Ken Law, I think, will do really well with that defense. What I see is these guys are picking these players up, like Patrick Queen going to Baltimore. That absolutely helps that Baltimore Ravens defense. And, of course, he's going to have guys he can learn behind as well. So you can be the number one rated linebacker in college sports and go to a really terrible team who has no defense or has a lackluster defense and you're not going to really shine until they either build up a defense with you, around you. So that's my problem, and especially this year, I think that we know for a fact that the offenses are going to have an advantage this season if we have our season over defenses. Not all defenses, like the defenses that were established last year, the top 5, 6 defenses, those defenses are going to just be better, in my opinion, than any other defenses that you're building up on. For the simple fact they've got a year under their belts to gel together. Yeah, there's defensive guys that's coming into the NFL who can actually make an impact right off the bat, but they can't do it on a lackluster defense from last season. You see what I'm saying?
No doubt, no doubt. It's like I was saying earlier, without a doubt, this really creates a lot of it makes it a little bit harder for some of these guys. There was one guy that his season's already ended, and a lot of people were talking very highly of him. And his season's over already. That's K'Lavon Chaisson, another LSU standout pass rusher extraordinaire. He tore his pec, I believe. He tore something. He's out for the season, so he's gone. He was also picked up by Jacksonville. Jacksonville had 3 first-round picks, so they had an opportunity to get some really good players. But I've got to go with I'm going to go with Patrick Queen. When you look at what Baltimore already has on that team, now let me preface my comments because I know somebody will be going crazy whenever I say this. So listen closely to me before you start jumping down my throat. I'm not saying he's Ray Lewis. We're not going to compare rookies to Ray Lewis, but they say his leadership, his versatility, his hit and run capability. They like this kid. They're talking about he reminds them a lot of Ray Lewis's style of play. We're not going to call a rookie a future Hall of Famer. He hasn't played one down, but they like this kid coming out of college. They were really surprised that he was still there. Baltimore already has a really good defense. And I think this kid's going to get an opportunity to really shine behind some of those players over there. So I'm going to go with Patrick Queen because of the culture over there and the ability to, just blend in. He doesn't have to be the man over there. Right. Baltimore always pretty good. So I like Patrick Queen. I like him over there at the linebacker position.
So we kind of agree on that one, man. Because I still think Isaiah Simmons was probably the best coming into the draft, but I think Patrick Queen is going to be the one who has the opportunity of winning that Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, sometimes it's about opportunity, and you go to a team that's already. It sucks when look. As much of an honor as it is to be a top 5 pick or whatever, bottom line is you're going to a terrible team. You're picked at Queen is picked at the back of the first round. He's picked at the back of the first round to a playoff team that the Ravens, a very established team. You go in there and there's no, now as compared to a guy like Jeffrey Okudah, who's expected right off the bat. Now, one name that I didn't see on there, and I wanted to ask you, do you not think do we not like Chase Young? Because I noticed I'm not seeing anybody on here saying Chase. He was the second pick in the draft.
Well,
what are our thoughts on Chase Young?
Here's my thoughts. I do like Chase Young, and I absolutely think that he has a decent opportunity of being that Rookie of the Year. But here's my point on why I did these slides. Usually you send me slides. I made these slides, and the way I made these slides, you gave me the subjects, and I went on and did top 5 out of the drafts, and that's what I went with. So I had a lot going on this week, guys. I'm sorry. I was playing legal secretary and everything else this past week, so I just went top 5. According to NFL.com. So, just
I just want to know. I hadn't heard anybody say anything about Chase Young, and I mean, there was a discussion during the draft, and me and you, we did some draft stuff back in April, May, where there were some people. There was a very serious discussion between who should be number one, Joe Burrows or Chase Young. There were some people that were saying that the Bengals should go get Chase Young. There was a discussion about that. So. I think Chase Young has a very good opportunity when you look at what they are, what the Washington football team already has over there. When you look at the two Payne and I forget the two Alabama boys that they got, they still got Kerrigan. I mean, they Montez Sweat. They have. I think Washington's defensive line is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And
wow! Oh, are you watching these comments? Wow. Will and Barnard says, I'm not sure if Chase won't be a bust. And Dennis Holmes says Simmons is the bust. I like Simmons. I don't see Simmons being a bust at all. But yeah, wow.
I'm looking at some of these comments, and I'm Dustin Davis, my boy Didi. He says Jeffrey Okuda. Okay. William Bombard says Simmons is definitely a guy to watch. Let's see here. Yuri Barrow says Kyle.
I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be offensive to any Indians. I don't. But on this football show, unless I'm just blacklisted off of the show at some point, they will always be the Washington Redskins to me. I cannot call them the Washington football team. I'm sorry, I won't do it. I have too much Indian in me, and I'm not trying to be whatever offensive to anyone. So they're always going to be the Washington Redskins to me. Can't do it. You've been calling the Washington football team for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm thinking, I just can't do it. I just cannot do it. So just saying, letting y'all know. I'm not being offensive at all.
Letitia says Patrick Queen. Let's see. I mean, I'm seeing some. Yuri Barr says the Ravens are going to be very scary. I agree. Dennis Simmons is the bust, really? Willem Bomar says I like Simmons. Wow. Look. We here at the Alphabet Show, me and Ramona, just so y'all know, when you come in the comment section and something really stands out to me, and it's just something really egregious and something really, really just asinine, S10, S11 out there, we're going to read that and we're going to put you. Now, understand this, people, and I preface this before we started the show. When you say something crazy, understand we got receipts. We're going to go back on this show. We're going to go back a few months from now, and some of these comments and these predictions and stuff. And the same with us. If we make some crazy, outlandish prediction and we're just really, really wrong, you can come on back and we'll discuss it. So, we'll see. So those are my predictions. So who did you decide on, Ramona?
Oh no, I was in agreement with you. I think the best defensive player in the draft to me was Simmons, but I think that Queen has more of a chance of being Rookie of the Year with the team that he's going to be playing for.
Okay, I'm totally with you. So moving on, I read some of that. I can't wait to see some of y'all's faces whenever we look back on this show a few months from now. We gonna see. So we're gonna move on to the next. We're gonna move on to the next. We're gonna move on to the next.
Melissa Bowden is calling you out in chat, just so you know.
What I do? What I say? Let's see here. Gary says I have to agree with Ramona. Oh, imagine that. If you're offended by the Redskins name, so let me ask you. Okay. You're going to stop your kids from playing Cowboys and Indians. Guess it can only be called Cowboys and Washington. What would be Washingtonians? Okay. So Washingtonians, Washington.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, here's my problem. Here's my problem. They've made this huge big to do about the Washington Redskins. What about the Kansas City Chiefs?
I think we're going to have a reckoning with a lot
The
of
Chicago
teams.
Blackhawks.
Well, I, I mean that's a whole nother show. When you look at it, tribes, when you say like a tribe, and we discussed this. When you say Redskins, I don't care how people try to spin it. That's offensive as hell. That's like saying the I don't know so and so darkies or the
But
so
you
and
know, you
so.
know, you but see, everybody takes it out of premise, and I do, not to quote somebody. God Almighty, I cannot believe I'm doing this to get out of everybody's feelings because everybody's offended by something now. They're offended by my Christmas tree. They're offended. I say Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays. I am sorry. You know what? Grow a spine, drop a set. That's just how I feel. I
You
am
can't.
telling you. Look. I have Cherokee Indian. My great
Okay,
grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee Indian.
okay, but when somebody looks at you, Ramona, you talk like Reba McEntire. There's nothing about you that looks like a Native American. Okay, let's just get it out in the open. Okay, and when I say that like as respectfully as possible.
Really? You think
Not-
so, huh?
there's nothing now. I had an artist try to draw you. He tried to make you look like you were Puerto Rican. Okay, and I got a little bit upset about that. But you cannot dictate to somebody what they feel is offensive. I cannot tell a homosexual person. Well, I don't think people have been
If
calling you.
you're offended, don't listen. Don't
It's
watch.
not. I can still want to watch a football. It's that if that's the argument, that's the argument. Like, well, people were making cat calls at that woman. Well, she shouldn't be offended. She shouldn't be offended. She shouldn't be able to wear. She should, if she don't like guys whistling at her, she shouldn't be wearing that damn miniskirt. You don't get to dictate to somebody what's offensive to them. As a black man, and
They shouldn't be able to dictate to me what I call a team either.
okay, and that's fine. But if I'm telling you, as a woman, as a woman, as a white woman, I cannot tell you what would offend. You're a woman. I'm a man. I can't tell you. Oh, if I called you the B word, you know what? It's just the word. You shouldn't get offended by that. You're getting in your feelings. No, it's offensive. You can't tell somebody what's offensive to them. You just can't do it. And that's part of where we are. You know what? We're getting a little bit off, and we'll talk about this off the air, and that's fine. This is what me and Ramona do. I know some of y'all think that we go back and forth with each other. We do, and it's all love. But anyway, getting back on track. Most interceptions, and we're gonna finish this conversation. We're gonna finish this conversation. Most interceptions. And once again, I will leave it to you and let you go on here, looking at all these awesome secondary players in the back end of a defense. Who do you think is going to have the most interceptions this season?
And I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
You gonna let me go first?
Yep, I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. Damn it, y'all are killing me tonight. You're killing me. I'm gonna say, and I'm not just saying this. I am gonna say. I'm going to say Tre'Davious White. I'm going to say Tre'Davious White. From what I see from him, I think people. I still don't think that America, the whole country, everybody who watches football, and maybe it's because of where they play. You're up in the damn near Canada. And I don't think that Buffalo gets the. I think their defense is elite. Look, I still think Josh Allen is overrated, and I still stick by that. And if I'm wrong on that, I'll come back on the show. And me and William Ricker, we have a little wager about me wearing a Buffalo Bills cap, and that's fine. I don't give a damn. That's cool. But y'all's defense is incredible. And I think Josh Norman's going to get picked on a lot this year. And me and Mookie Hawkins, shout out to my boy Mookie Hawkins, Wuffo Sports. I think Tre'Davious White is going to show out this season. I really do. I
Oh,
think he.
so you know, I was offended that you said I don't look nothing like Native American.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, if
jet,
I, you
jet,
know, if I,
jet black hair. When I was younger, high cheekbones. But yeah, okay.
okay.
Do I need to?
Jet,
I promise you,
jet black hair.
you do realize what I'm going to do. Next show, I'm going to come on with pigtails braided.
Okay.
I
Okay. I'll be
wear it like
looking.
that a lot anyway.
I think that Josh Norman. I've said this to my boy Mookie Hawkins a million times. I think Josh Norman is going to be picked on this season, and I think sometimes Tre'Davious White he's gonna follow whoever the best receiver is around on the field. And when you look at like some of the teams that the Bills face, I just think this season we are gonna learn to respect Tre'Davious White. I thought he was disrespected for the top 100 countdown. I said that. I stand by that. Me and Dre, we discussed this last week. I thought it was highly disrespectful the way that they didn't give that man his props. They didn't give him his props, and I think this season he's on a mission to try to prove that he's one of or the best corner in the league. So I'm gonna go with Tre'Davious White.
Oh wow! I have a cousin. In the comments too. She says our native heritage is very prominent in my features, but I get it that a lot of people automatically just go to the Indian heritage thing and automatically think of like TV and the Indians they see there, and that's not always the heritage of especially Cherokee Indian. So yellow pigtails. I did not say yellow pigtails, William or Will. Shoot, I'm going to take Minka Fitzpatrick. That's who I'm taking. I'm going to tell you right now. I think, we've had this conversation before. He is Polamalu-ish, Polamalu-esque type player. He is.
Yeah.
And I explained the difference between esque and ish. But it's also esque. ESQUE as well. Look it up. But anyway, just saying. Hey Gary, good to see you. But yeah, all right. Well, that's Tito. Sorry guys, but it's scary. But anyway, I think that Minka this year, I think this defense is going to be playing on all cylinders. I think that when this defense is more rested, that's going to make them a lot more dangerous. And I think they will definitely be more rested this season. So I'm going with Minka.
Okay. We got a couple up in here, not too many. Let's see here. Eddie V Hill says. Eddie V Hill. Let me go back up here. Paul Smith says Marshawn Lattimore. Eddie V Hill says Minka. Let's see here. Yuri Barrow says Malik Hooker. And Yuri says Byron Jones. God, you just picking a whole bunch of people. And Yuri says Marlon Humphrey. You're gonna take three. And then Willem Bombard says keep an eye on Trayvon Diggs in Dallas. INTs could be in his favor. He is a ball hawk without a doubt. Oh, okay. So moving on. Next category, we're gonna go most sacks. Most sacks, sack artists out there. You're looking at some of the sack guys on here. Chandler Jones, TJ Watt, Shaquille Barrett. I don't know who that is with and Cam Hayward. I don't know who that is with the Vikings. I can't really see.
That would be Daniel Hunter.
Daniel Hunter. Okay.
The guy had 14.5 sacks last year.
Okay. You got some really good. You got some really good players on this list. And look, I've stayed away from the Cowboys. I have stayed away from the Cowboys this season. I've stayed away from the Cowboys, but I am going to go.
Your defense is what kept you from making the playoffs.
Look, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm looking at the schedule, okay? And once again, when you look at the schedule, the NFC West, the NFC plays the AFC East. That means Sam Darnold. That means whoever's in Miami. That means whoever's in New England, Cam. And I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Nick Bosa. I'm going to go with Nick Bosa from the 49ers. I think with him being able to play against a guy like Sam, I think he's going to have Sam Darnold seeing ghosts again when they come out, when they're screaming off the edge. Look, that whole NFC West is a murderer's row. When you look at the pass rusher, you look at Chandler Jones with Arizona, and you look at Bosa with the 49ers. I just think that and then playing the AFC East this season, I think
player is going to be so upset with you right now.
Is he? I mean,
he will be, because you're totally leaving Barrett out of this conversation.
And Barrett is incredible. I mean, Barrett's incredible.
Sacks. He had more sacks than anybody last year. 19.5 sacks.
And that's true. But here's the thing about it. When is the last time that a player led the league in sacks 2 years in a row? Here's the thing. Once you start having a season like that where you're leading the league in sacks, guess what? Every team that plays you, when they play against you, they're gonna chip you, double team you. They're not gonna let you wreck their game plan. And that is why the teams that have bookends, they have two pass rushers. That's how the guy gets the sack. If you have just one elite pass rusher on your team, it's not enough. That's why I was, when I was talking about Joey Bosa, he has Melvin Ingram on the other side. Your boy, TJ Watt, he has Bud Dupree on the other side. Yeah, you cannot just have one pass rusher. And I'm going to give you another name too. I'm just going to put it out there, and we'll watch this again in a few months. Everson Griffin, Dallas Cowboys. Everson Griffin, Dallas Cowboys.
What about Quinn?
Who?
Quinn.
Robert Quinn with there you go again. You got Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack. You got two of these guys screaming off the edge. I just don't look. Here's the other thing where your pass rushers get the opportunity to really show their stuff. Your offense, you have a lead. You got to have a lead. That means your offense has to score points. If you don't have the lead, what the teams are going to do at the end of the game, what do people do at the end of the game whenever they have the lead on you? They run the football. So your pass rushers aren't going to get an opportunity to go after the quarterback. If you're up, 2 or 3 touchdowns, or you're up 10 points with 5 minutes left in the game, your pass rushers can pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. If you're up by 3, if the other team is up on you, they're just going to run the football. You're not going to get an opportunity to sack the quarterback. So I'm going to say Nick Bosa, San Francisco 49ers, or Everson Griffin or D-Law from the Dallas Cowboys.
You do know that Nick Bosa only had like 9 sacks last year, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just checking.
I think that the 49ers offense is going to be better this year. You look at a guy like I think Deebo Samuel takes a step forward. I think that George Kittle is one of the, if not the premier tight end in the league. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, I think Jimmy G, I still think he's just an average quarterback, but I think they got enough weapons over there to make another run. So those pass rushers will get the opportunity to get after the quarterback.
Well, I actually haven't really actually made a pick. I absolutely think Pittsburgh Steelers defense will be even better this season. I really do. I think it may not show up to around week 3, week 4, but I'm thinking more like around week 3. I'll go week 4 only because of the craziness of the COVID and everything. But I think that, you had TJ Watt with 14.5 sacks last year and Bud Dupree, who had 11.5 sacks last year on the same team. So I absolutely think you're not going to be able to double team both of these guys. So one of them's going to get you your quarterback. And even one of them who's getting to your quarterback is going to hurt you. So, but yeah, I really do like that Bosa. I do really like the Bosa pick though. I'm not joking. I really do. I think he's actually out ready to set out and prove something. Is my thing. So, and it's about time we have an easy schedule, Chuck Thomas, because we haven't had an easy schedule for the last couple of years. Just time.
Okay.
Okay.
I got Eddie V Hill says TJ Watt. Tito says Bosa San Fran. I agree with you, buddy. Willem Bumbar says Aaron Donald all day. Did you see the shape he's in? Dalton says Cam Jordan. Yuri Barrow says Khalil Mack. Dennis Holmes said Z Smith. I think that's one of the Smith boys from Green Bay.
Yeah.
The Darius Smith. I think that's who it is.
Yeah.
Let's see who else here. What else we got here? Willem Bumbar said another reason that I'm picking Darnold. He got the AFC East and that he can get Jimmy G and Murray. Ethan said, sorry I'm late. I didn't get a notification. And so, yeah, that's what we got there. So we covered the defense. We're going to jump on over to the offensive side of the ball. Made a lot of so we're going to jump over to the offense. And the first prediction that we have for the offense will be offensive player of the year. Offensive player of the year. And once again, this is another tough one. This is another tough one. And I'm gonna keep it short and sweet here. I'm gonna say Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best. I think he is a generational talent. And I don't just give compliments out just for the sake of giving compliments. Patrick Mahomes, when you look at his accuracy, his decision making, his velocity on the ball, and then you look at all the weapons that they have. You look at a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you look at Tyreek Hill, you look at Kelsey, you look at Sammy Watkins, and I mean they just have weapons everywhere. Andy Reid's an offensive genius. I think Patrick, short of Andy Reid having a heart attack because he looks like he just ate like 20 cheeseburgers, or Patrick Mahomes suffering a career-threatening injury, I just think the Chiefs are just set up for. I just think they're set up for success, and Patrick Mahomes to me, like, we have not seen anything like him for a minute. I mean, he's got Aaron Rodgers' mobility. He just got everything. Dude's making no-look passes, and then to give him Clyde Edwards-Helaire to go up in there with everything he already had. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is an upgrade over Damian Williams. He just is, and I just think the sky's the limit for this guy if he can stay healthy, and that's it for me. It's just that simple.
Well, I'm gonna go against you on that one, and I'm gonna say Lamar Jackson.
What? Ramona, are you over there drinking something? Let me see your cup. Let me see your cup. Let me see your cup. What you got in that cup? That don't look like no apple juice.
It is Diet Mountain
Okay.
Dew. Nope, I'm going with Lamar Jackson. Because I'm doing a switch around this year. I am going with Lamar Jackson. I think that he is going to keep proving that he can throw the football down the field, period. I think our next category is you'll understand why I'm picking Lamar Jackson for Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay. For me, it's just Lamar.
What we were discussing, and let me explain why real quick, because you and I were just discussing this before the show. If they do what you say, and I think you're right, and I do think AB will actually be in the NFL this season. I do think that they pick him up week 5, week 6. By week 8, he's playing. And I think that just gives him another weapon to throw the football to. And we all know that AB can catch the football. And I think that you're going to see him throwing more touchdowns this year than he did last year.
And you still have to worry about his to me right now, the 2 top quarterbacks in the league are Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Obviously, I think Patrick Mahomes is a better thrower of the football. But when you add Lamar Jackson's running ability, and that's another thing. He does need to learn how to slide. I didn't like some of the shots he took last year. You cannot have a career take. I saw him take some kill shots. I like to see him slide more, get out of bounds. But when the guy takes off, he's electric. I mean, he's the best runner of football at the quarterback position that I've seen since Michael Vick. I think he's a better thrower of the football as far as accuracy than Michael Vick. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But I think I still think Patrick Mahomes, when you just look at the traditional quarterback, he's just a better player. So okay. So we pretty much I got Mahomes, you got Jackson. Let me read some of these right here. Chuck Thomas says she's picking Lamar, but Steelers are going to be better on defense, so Lamar better beat them twice, Ramona.
Well, they beat us twice last year, but I don't think they beat us twice this year. I really don't. I just don't think that their defense beats us twice this year.
Chuck Thomas, he says Mahomes and Russell Wilson to me, and he says, surprise, Dak not in a conversation for Marcus. Look, Dak very well could be in there. He could very well be in that conversation. Look, I'm going to tell some of you all this, and some of y'all don't want to hear this. When you look at Dallas on the offensive side of the ball, and my boy Tito just jumped up in here, and he's, you're being a Cowboys homer. Dallas's offense is going to be incredible, okay? You cannot just sit up and try to focus in on Zeke. You cannot double team Cooper. You cannot double team Gallup. You're going to probably have CeeDee Lamb playing in the slot. And I'm going to give y'all a little surprise. I'm going to give y'all a little fantasy football advice. We had since me and my boy Tito and a few other guys, we had our fantasy football draft last weekend. Look out for Blake Jarwin at the tight end position. I'm just telling you, I'm not saying that he's Kelsey or Kittle or Ertz, but y'all better look out for Blake Jarwin. I'm just gonna put a little nugget in your ear. But yes, Buck, I could see Dak Prescott really having a great year. And Tito, I'm still mad at you for drafting him and taking him away from me in our fantasy football league. So moving on, offensive rookie. He did that on purpose. He did that on purpose. Yeah. It's okay though. Let's see here. Yuri says Cam Akers. Buck says CeeDee Lamb now. And so offensive rookie of the year, we're gonna move along. Up here on the slide, you see CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Swift, Lions, Henry Ruggs from the Las Vegas Raiders. That's gonna be hard to try to say. Joe Burrow's #1 pick and Jonathan Taylor. man, I mean, there are some weapons over here, and I know a lot of y'all are thinking I'm going to say CeeDee Lamb, and I think he's going to have an incredible year because CeeDee Lamb doesn't have to come in and be the man on the Cowboys. He doesn't. He just has to be a cog. He just has to be a cog in the on the offense, and you know, they have other players that he could just kind of be one of the guys on the team. So I'm gonna break ranks, and I'm gonna say Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor takes over that job over Marlon Mack. I think this guy, he was a workhorse. He was a workhorse at Wisconsin. I think he's just a better player than Marlon Mack. I think he goes over there with that offensive line. I love my offensive line. I love Philly's offensive line. But in my opinion, the Indianapolis Colts have the best offensive line in the league. And I think behind that line, I think Jonathan Taylor runs up and down the field. I think I would not be surprised if he led the league in rushing this season. I don't think Zeke or Barkley is going to lead the league. I think it'll be like a Jonathan Taylor or a guy like Derrick Henry because they get the ball so much. I think you'll see Ezekiel Elliott's carries go down this season. I think Nick Chubb, I think you'll see some of his carries go down this season with I think Kareem Hunt kind of gets a little bit more play in that system. So I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor.
Well, that's who I've got picked too, because I agree with what Tito just made a comment. Marlon Mack stays hurt all the time. He stays hurt. Yeah. And I think that's why they got Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, there were some people that thought that there were some people that Jonathan Taylor was the best. He was the best, running back in this draft, and to put him behind that offensive line,
yeah,
with them bulldozers that they have over there, I could very easily see. I think he's going to be the next next guy after Barkley and Zeke and Nick Chubb. I think that he's that guy. Let me see here before we move on. Let's see here. CeeDee Lamb, Cam Akers, Dalton Smith says DeAndre Swift. Ethan Twitty says Zach Moss. No, don't. Ethan Twitty, you don't get to say Zach Moss. Not whenever weren't you the one on the Devin Singletary fan club? Weren't you and William on the Devin Singletary fan club when I told y'all he was too small to be a franchise back? Now you want to jump in the comments and say that Zach Moss is going to be the offensive rookie of the season? I'm telling you guys, y'all make me laugh. Y'all make me laugh. Now it's Zach Moss. But I do agree with you. I told you months ago, I said when they drafted Zach Moss, I said Zach Moss is a 230-pound running back. You're not going to last as a franchise back at 203 pounds. Devin Singletary will be your third down back with the Buffalo Bills. I told you that at the draft. As soon as they drafted Zach Moss, I told y'all that, and y'all laughed. Now you want to jump in the comment section and say that Zach Moss is going to be the offensive rookie of the year. You guys, y'all are something else. Willem Bombard's Dennis Buck Flair says Burrow most likely. I don't agree. Dennis says Judy. Willem Bombard's are Judy or Lamb. Tito says Marlon Mack stays hurt. Let's see here. No, you ain't messing with me. You meant that. Zach Moss is going to take over that backfield. I'm telling y'all that already. So moving on to the next slide, leading passer. Jameis Winston, Phillip Rivers, Dak, Goff, Matt Ryan.
Who was the leading passer last year?
It actually was Jameis Winston.
Yes, it was.
It actually was Jameis. Yard-wise, not touchdowns, and he also led the league in something else too. 30 interceptions.
Just like Ben Roethlisberger led the league in passing in 2018, and I think he actually may have led the league in interceptions too.
Yeah.
Here's the deal about that. Listen, here's the deal about this. The majority of the people that are throwing the ball like Roethlisberger did in 2018 and Winston did, when you throw 300 more passes than the next quarterback down the list, you're going to probably throw more interceptions.
Well, when you're behind all the time, you're gonna
you take the chances to try and catch up.
That's a very deceptive stat. Now,
It is.
do we mean by the most yards, or we mean by the highest QBR? You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about, to me, just throwing for a bunch of yards, that doesn't mean anything to me. That's like empty calories. That's like, when you eat a whole bunch of Pringles, those are empty calories. It's not like eating some vegetables. It looks good, it tastes good, but it's not giving you any type of nutritional value. When I look at like leading passer,
you're looking at QBR most likely.
For me, I'm looking mostly at QBR because I'm looking at your yards. I'm looking at your interceptions. All of my Buffalo Bills fans that I'm out there, I'm looking at your fumbles. Okay, I don't just turnovers are not just interceptions, guys. It's fumbling the ball too. So I'm gonna go. Man, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with. Damn it, man! I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson. I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson. I think he plays a more conservative. I think he throws for a lot of touchdowns. He doesn't throw for a lot of interceptions. Plus, when you look at his rushing ability, he's not really turnover prone. So I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson. He really I thought he took a big step last year as far as throwing the ball down the field. I think he had the most touchdown passes. I want to say he had the most touchdown passes. He did throw for the most touchdowns, and he ran for 1,200 yards too. So I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I could go with that. I could agree with that. I think that you have to give some credit to Aaron Rodgers last year. Nobody looks at the stats that Aaron Rodgers had last year and taking that team 13-3. I think that you still can't overlook what Drew Brees might bring to the game this year. He did have the injury, the setback last year, but he still came out with some pretty good stats last season. So I don't think you can leave him out. But I'm going to tell you something. I think that little kid out there in Arizona, offensively, they made some pretty good moves on offense. I think he's actually going to stand a chance of possibly doing something this year as well. Leading passer, I don't know. I still think that the leading passer is going to come down between Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
I'll let you read a few comments.
Here you go. William Bombard. I can always count on William Bombard for his homerism. Let's see here. Buck Flair, Brady or Ryan. Then it said, ain't nobody care. Leading passer is going to be Josh Allen. William Bombard. That sounds like some more something that you want to lose. If you think Josh Allen is going to be the leading passer in the league, yeah, we need to have a talk after this show. Yuri Barrow says Tom Brady. Ethan Tweedy, Josh Allen. In all honesty, see Ethan and Ace, they're trying to mess with me. That's what they're trying to do. They're trolling me right now. Josh Allen, in all honesty, Drew Brees. So moving on next to the next topic, leading rusher. Last year, I believe, who was the leading rusher last year? Was it Derrick Henry or was it Nick Chubb? I don't recall who
it was. It was Derrick Henry.
Was it Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
I'm sticking with that. I think Derrick Henry. Look, Zeke led the league in rushing 2 out of his first 3 years. Okay, he led it in 2016, his rookie year. 2017, he got the 6 games. 2018, he led it, and then 2019, I think he was 4th. So 2 out of his first 3 years, he led the league in rushing. I think with all the other weapons, I don't think he does that. Christian McCaffrey.
No, it was Nick Chubb. It was Nick Chubb.
I thought it was Nick Chubb. Christian McCaffrey. I like Christian McCaffrey, but to me, they try to get him the ball as much as possible. I could see him having 1,200 yards and like 1,000 yards receiving. That's the kind of back he is. But I don't think Christian CMC will ever be the leading rusher in the league with just pure rushing. Like, to me, the pure rusher, that's like 15, 16, 17, 1,800 yards. I don't think Christian McCaffrey's that guy. Chris Carson's always hurt. Nick Chubb has got a split carries with Kareem Hunt, who I think will get more carries this year. They were kind of bringing him back. Let's not forget, in 2017, Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing when Zeke got those 6 games. So I don't think it'll be Nick Chubb. So I'm going to go with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, the Tennessee Titans' success stops and starts with the success of Derrick Henry. He's a workhorse back. He's a unicorn. You know what I think about unicorn? He's a unicorn. You don't want to see this guy 30 carries in a game. I could very easily, and without him, without Derrick Henry, the Tennessee Titans are a 4-win team. They're 4-12 without Derrick Henry. He's what makes that whole team go. He's going to see a lot of carries. They see the type of successes they have when they feed him the ball. He's that type of back that you have to feed him the football. So I'm going to go with Derrick Henry.
I think it's going to be close, but I think it's going to be C-Mac. I think it's going to be McCaffrey. And just I got to mention this just for Devon Stanfield's purposes. We still haven't seen any kind of, what was it he said? It was going to come out that he was on steroids and all this. That's the reason why he does what he does. I had to mention that because I remember him saying that in text on one of the shows. He's, yeah, it's going to come out. He was on steroids. That's true. Nobody can run like he does. Da, da, da. I'm like, yeah. Well, I still think that he stands a chance of being that because that's to me, when you have that 2-headed monster in the backfield, like Cleveland Browns, like you said, they have to split those carries. When you have the 3-headed monster that the Baltimore Ravens have, they got to split carries. Pittsburgh Steelers, same boat right now, same boat. You know, we got Connor, Benny Snell, and then we have the fullback,
Jalen Samuels.
What's the name?
Derek Watt.
Derek. Couldn't think of his name. Got Derek Watt back there.
He doesn't get carries like that. I think Jalen Samuels will get. Derek Watt is
listen, I'm gonna tell you, if you think Pittsburgh reach out and grab Derek Watt and ain't gonna use him this year, you are full of it. Trust me. They will be using him. They will use him. He was never used out on the West Coast like he should have been used at all.
Okay.
Trust me when I tell you, he is. Let me explain to you who Derek Watt reminds me of. A one Rocky Blyer.
There it is.
He ain't Rocky Blyer-ish, but his style of fullback reminds me of Rocky Blyer. He really does.
Okay. We definitely see. We'll definitely
I'm
see.
excited about that one too. You know,
I'm really interested to see what that backfield looks like. I'm gonna read some of these comments here. Buck says Henry. Eddie V Hill says C-Mac. Dalton says Derrick Henry. Buck says Zeke, fantasy player. He's on my fantasy team too, on one of them. Will Lombard says, "Can Gurley have a resurgence in Atlanta?" And I'll answer that. I don't think he does. And speaking of it, that's the next topic we're going to go into. Kind of segue into it. Comeback player of the year. On this list here, you see Matthew Stafford, AJ Green,
there.
Big Ben, JJ Watt, Gronk, and Gurley. And look, this is another list right here. It's kind of tough. Look, I don't trust AJ Green. I don't trust AJ Green. He's always hurt. He's getting older. He just stays hurt. Matthew Stafford, same difference. I still think JJ Watt's got a little bit left in the tank. Gronk, look, we were talking about this. Earlier. Gronk, people, if you think Gronk's going to be the same player he was in New England, I got a name for you guys. His name is O.J. Howard. I think Gronk is going to kind of serve as this guy's mentor, and up to this point, O.J. Howard's kind of been a bust. And I don't think that Todd Gurley has any knees. Your knees don't get better when you get arthritis in your knees. And Ron Thomas, shout out to you. I know you're a Falcons fan out there, and I know you think he's going to come in and save the franchise. I just don't see it from Gurley. I'm gonna go with Big Ben. I am. I just think that, and me and Ramona, we've talked about this. I just think Big Ben's on a mission. I think he's on a mission. I think he's going to make all of those young players. Pittsburgh has a lot of good young offensive players. When you look, I think he's going to make Juju better. I think he's going to make Deontay Johnson better. I think he's going to make Eric Ebron better. I think he's going to make everybody. He makes everybody better. He just makes he's going to make everybody. I think he makes Chase. I think Chase Claypool ends up being Pittsburgh's #1 receiver eventually. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He reminds me a lot of the comparison that he got was, I don't know if y'all remember a guy that used to play for Tampa Bay and the Chargers. His name was Vincent Jackson. Big, fast, physical guy. Ran a 4.5 at like 230 pounds. I think Chase Claypool, when he finally gets his chance to be on the field, his ability to I think Ben Roethlisberger is going to love this guy. I think he's going to. I think he's going to love him.
Will says, "How come y'all ain't got Cam on there?" Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. I mean, and he could. Look, I think,
to be honest, he should be on that list. That was. Yeah, I was when I was putting that list together. When I was putting that slide together, I was like, "Who am I missing?" And I couldn't remember. And I tried to get a hold of Marcus, and you were. That's when I think you were just like out mailing stuff out, or maybe I'm not sure. But anyway, I was trying to get a hold of you, and I thought, well, I've already got it done, and that's enough for right now. I think I got 5 up there. So, but I honestly think, you're talking about Ben Roethlisberger being on a mission. I think Ben's got a lot to prove this year. I think Ben, in his own mind, has a lot to prove this year. He ain't done. That's what he told his wife. Because she told him, if you are ready to call it quits and retire, I stand by you 100%. This is your decision. And he told her, I'm not done. And I don't think he's done. I really don't. I had a mater sandwich. I actually haven't had one of those in a while, Chuck, but I might have to have one of them tomorrow for lunch. But yeah, I'm going to go with Big Ben as well.
Okay, some of the comments here. Ethan Tweedy says Big Ben. Dalton says Big Ben. Willem Bumar says Gurley or Shady McCoy. No, Shady McCoy. Buck says Melvin Gordon. Okay. Gurley, Cam. I see Big Ben here. And then Willem Bombard says, mess around and see Phillip Rivers be in the conversation. uh, MVP. MVP, here we go. Up here on the list here, we got, the usual suspects, Mahomes, Jackson, Deshaun Watson. We got Deshaun Watson on there twice and Dak Prescott.
Is that? Oh, I thought that was Russell. I thought that was Russell Wilson.
Damn, he looks like.
Yeah,
MVP.
that's Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's supposed to be Russell Wilson.
That's who it is.
Who you got? Who you got? Who you got, Ramona?
God Almighty! This makes me throw up a little in my mouth. But I really think it's going to be Dak Prescott.
What?
I know. Did that not blow your mind? Because I didn't want to. But honest to God, I think that he got exactly what he's been needing. He's got a defense that's going to help on the opposite side of the ball. But I think that him and CeeDee Lamb and Zeke, I see big things happening for Dallas this year, as much as I don't want to say that. So, yeah, there you go.
I appreciate that, Ramona. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna
That was really hard to do, though. Just so you know.
That's really hard. Look, the fan in me would love for Dak Prescott to be the MVP, and if he has an MVP type season, I think you see Dallas in the least the NFC Championship game.
You see that, right?
I just think that with the weapons that they have, I think he's going to put up numbers. You can't just double team. And then I think Mike McCarthy's on a mission. I think Mike McCarthy, with the way he was unceremoniously let go and kind of just flamed out in Green Bay, sitting out that year. Sometimes I think the competitive juices. I think a lot of coaches, when they get that second job after they get fired and people think they're done, they come back in. Look, if Bill Belichick, if his career was over after the Browns, we would not be talking about him as the greatest head football coach in history. So Pete Carroll, he crashed and burned with the Jets and the Patriots before. Andy Reid kind of crashed. He never, got that ring over in Philly. And then you see him go to KC and he's kind of like got a second life over there. So, So
I have to read one comment and then make a comment and reply to this comment. All right, Ethan. Ethan Tweedy says, watch Rivers get MVP. All right, I'm going to tell you, if you're going to put that in that conversation, I'm saying Big Ben in the Super Bowl, and he wins the MVP for the Super Bowl and then retires.
Okay. Without a doubt.
I have to go there. And Will said, book it. It's going to be Josh Allen.
Here we go. Here we go with the here we go. Willem Bombard, we're gonna talk, buddy. We're gonna talk. What we got? What we got next? We got about 15 minutes. We got about 15 minutes left on the show, guys. You all are watching the Alphabets football talk show, football show with myself, Marcus Alphabets, and Ramona Die with the Rise Up family, all of the Rise Up family on the OnPoint network. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Make sure y'all like and share the show. Coach of the year, next topic. Big Bill, Tennessee Titans, Mike McCarthy, Kyle Shanahan, and who's that? Frank Reich over there with the Colts. Wow, that's woo. Now, this one here, I am going to say it. I'm going to go with Mike McCarthy here. I am going to go with Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy, with the weapons that he has and with the offenses that he had in Green Bay, I think that with his creativity, I think Mike McCarthy comes back, and I think he's the thing. Jason Garrett was terrible. I hated looking at him. I hated when – just standing on the, I want to punch a hole in my flat screen TV. I really did. That's how mad he would get. I'm going to say Mike McCarthy. Enough say it. I'm gonna say Mike McCarthy.
I think Kingsbury. I really do. I just think that he's going to turn that team around completely.
Okay.
I just and honest to God, I'm really going to say that I still feel like Mike Tomlin was cheated out of that Coach of the Year last year for what he was able to do with all the injuries that team suffered. Losing your starting quarterback, losing your running back for 6 games, losing your wide receiver for 4 games, your number 1 receiver. And then, of course, everybody wanted to give Juju Smith-Schuster hell, saying, oh, well, he's definitely not a number 1. He's not a number 1. With the loss of AB, he's going to be doubled and da-da. Well, Juju, not only did he lose AB, but and got thrust into being a number 1, but he also lost his starting quarterback in the second game of the season. Come on, guys. What the hell? He got injured. He got knocked out during the Cleveland Browns game, basically. He actually had quite a few injuries of his own last year. And you're probably right, Chuck Thomas. I think that Tomlin didn't win last year because of what happened during the Cleveland Browns game. I think you're absolutely right about that. So.
Yeah. I see a few in here. Somebody said Vic Fangio. Of course, Sean McDermott. Mike. Chuck Thomas said Mike Tomlin did not win because of the Mason Rudolph. Okay. What's up, Gold? What's up, Goldie? Glad to see you in the building.
Did Irving just come in? Did he just come in? And he has not been here to hear me talk.
Right.
About
we're gonna have to bring
Ravens. You're gonna have to watch this show, Irving.
Without a doubt. So, as you all know, I started a new section. Y'all know one of my sayings. There's levels to this. There's always levels to this. Whatever you're doing. So here's our levels to this. 4th and goal. 4th and goal. Who are you giving the ball to? Allstott, Marshawn Lynch, Derrick Henry, LeGarrette Blount, the bus, Adrian Peterson. Quick answers. 5 seconds. Who you taking?
I'm taking Jerome Bettis.
The bus.
In their heyday, absolutely, I'm going with Jerome Bettis.
Without a doubt, he's a beast. 1 yard line. I'm taking Mike Allstott. Mike Allstott used to be a beast, man. I mean, and any of these guys are. I'll tell you who should have got the ball in the 4th and goal in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I can tell you who should have got the ball. But let's not go there. We're not gonna. we're not gonna. Good job, Pete Carroll. That was pretty awesome.
I'll let you read some comments real quick while I go to the next one.
All right. Eddie V. Hill says the bus. Chuck Buckflare says A-Train. Ethan Tweedy bus all day. Lynch, and I win the Super Bowl. Bus, and Goldie says beast mode. All right. Now here's where you got to leave your fandom and your homerism. You got to get rid of it for a minute, guys. And you can't be in your feelings. We can't be in our feelings. You can have one player from any team. You can have one player from any team. From a opposing team on your team. So if you're an AFC East fan, you got to pick a player from the AFC East from an opposing team. So if you're a Bills fan, you got to pick somebody in AFC. One player.
I didn't do that because we didn't establish that rule, and I've only got one player I picked.
Okay, that's what I had meant for it to be. You can have one player from any player in your division. An opposing player. Now, this is respect. This is where you got to look at another player. You got to look beyond your own team. Who are you going to take?
Let me think about it.
Okay, I'm going to give you a player. I'm going to give you Wow. I'm gonna say, give me Fletcher Cox, Philadelphia Eagles. That's who I would want. Fletcher Cox. You give me Fletcher Cox. That guy has made life miserable for my boys. Give me Fletcher Cox, Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm gonna go with Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Yep.
You take him. You take him over James. You take him over James Conner.
I'm not getting rid of James Conner. I just take Nick
Okay,
Chubb.
you would take him on your team. I would take Fletcher Cox on the inside of my defensive line. I'll take him over anybody on the inside. I ain't taking him over Demarcus Lawrence or Everson Griffin, but you put him at that defensive tackle, put him at the 3 technique. I will take Fletcher Cox all day and twice on Sunday. And top five offensive, top five offensive arsenals. We did this before, but I wanted to do this again.
No, I don't think we did. I don't remember doing this one.
Top five right now. They're saying top 5 offensive arsenals. Are we cool with this list here? Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland Browns, Cowboys, Bucks. How the hell did the Carolina Panthers get
Tell
on this?
me, you tell me, because I saw this. You said this, and I looked at that, and I thought, okay, Kansas City Chiefs I could go with.
Yeah.
I can't really go top 5 Arsenals, Cleveland Browns, because I'm sorry, I don't think Baker Mayfield is what he needs to be. I think he's just going to be another Manziel. So
Yeah.
that's just me.
I don't know. Carolina.
Cowboys, I think could be up there. I don't put them at number 2. I absolutely can put the Baltimore Ravens up there.
Yes, I'm taking Carolina completely off this. They don't even Carolina's. I don't even think Carolina's a top 10 offense. They might not be a top 15 offense. I don't know who the hell. Bill Barnwell, whoever the hell Bill Barnwell is, bro. Yeah. Don't make any more lists, bro, because this is terrible. There's no way that you cannot put the Baltimore Ravens on that list. And
I can even put Buffalo up there. I really can put Buffalo Bills.
I would put Buffalo above Carolina. That's ridiculous, man.
Okay.
Give me some fun facts.
I started a fun facts thing myself. And I actually didn't do a whole lot of research on it. Was kind of running a little bit late getting stuff done today. But I have one good fun fact for you guys. One fun fact. Do you have any idea that it takes 3,000 cows to make enough NFL for the leather to make enough footballs for a year's supply of footballs for the NFL? 3,000 cows.
Man, I love that. I'd rather have the cows for some steaks, but okay, that's
well, I'm sure they're using that meat and make steaks out of their cows. But yeah, I saw that on a, oh God, I can't even remember what I was watching, and I seen that and I was like, so I looked it up. I looked it up and I was like, it takes 3,000 cows to supply the NFL with enough leather for a year's supply of footballs.
Oh wow.
Yes, wow. Poor Ethan. Did you know this, Ethan? Did you know this? You know, he's our resident cows guy. He's our cows expert.
Yeah. If you kill 3,000 cows, there better be some hamburgers and some steaks and some ribs somewhere out of them 3,000 cows. They better not just be the damn.
That's what I thought. That's what I kept saying. I was like, okay, wow. Didn't know all of this, but I thought that was a good fun fact. You might got any fun facts in the audience? We got a few minutes.
Right. Let's see here. I'm gonna read the last little bit of comments. I'm gonna jump back up to the taking a player from the division rival. William Bombard said Lev Bell.
I had Lev Bell. You can keep him.
Goldie said Hines Ward. Dalton said Christian McCaffrey. Willem Bombard, he says I take Ertz. Yeah, I
And,
wouldn't
you
mind
know, I'm
Ertz.
amazed you're taking. Well, hold on. I'm kind of shocked. I am really shocked, Irving, that you are going to take Hines Ward over Troy Polamalu. I figured
Right.
him, Polamalu on one side, and Reed on the other. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that defense?
Wow. Ethan Tweedy said Gilmore. Buck said Julio Jones in the division and Mac. Uh, and Goldie said for current he take Odell. So for the top five offenses, KC, Bucks, Ravens, Cowboys, Saints. Dalton says Saints and Ravens should be on that list, and I agree.
Yeah, Saints.
KC, Dallas, Ravens, Bills, Tampa. No order. I can see that.
As long as everybody knows, the viewers know, I did not make that slide. I made a lot of all the slides, but I did not make that slide. Your host Marcus Bett sent me that slide for levels to this.
Right.
Sure
oh my gosh, man. And then Buck says, I have a jersey in my closet that Ramona might get in the future. Name on the back starts with a W. What is that? Is that some kind of inside wager y'all got going on? And quick shout out, this has nothing to do with football. Chadwick Boseman, star of the Black Panther movies, he passed away. 43 years old, just passed away.
That's really
Black Panther.
Yeah, that's
crazy, man. I know this is a football show, but I'm just like 43 years old. Just wow. Died of cancer. Hit 40. Been battling cancer for 4 years. I'm sure we'll be discussing that and some other. Wow, that's crazy. But guys, that's everything. Any last words, Ramona, before we get it? Go ahead, Ramona, and then I'll close it out. Go ahead. Any last words?
I was going to thank everyone for showing up. Like and share the show. We appreciate you all. If y'all have any kind of suggestions for shows or anything like that, just let us know. We'll try to get that up for you guys. This year has been absolutely bananas. It really has. And people are stressing. People are stressing out all over the world. Our seasons of sports that keep us entertained and our off, when we're not working. Our hobbies that we love to do, we're not able to do this year. So this year has just been really hectic. I'm just praying that we can get this football season off and going. I know Pittsburgh announced that they would not have any kind of fan ventures on their first two games at home. So, and I think that's starting. I think teams are starting to say this all over. It was just a few teams that were going to be select that weren't going to have any fans. Now Pittsburgh will not have any fans whatsoever on their first two games at home. So.
All right. Like Ramona said, thank you guys for tuning in. It's always fun. I had a surprise for you guys tonight, but we're going to push that back. Guy who shout out to my man, Ruben Lindley. He does awesome work for us. Guys, we're going to get those shoes raffled. We may have to push the raffle back a little bit. Right now, we have the Bills and the Eagles out there. Make sure y'all are sharing that with your people so they can get an opportunity. They can buy a raffle ticket and get an opportunity. We were supposed to have another pair of shoes tonight. Ruben's a perfectionist. Shout out to you, Ruben. He's like, until I'm done, I ain't doing nothing. He's just a perfectionist like that, and that's fine. We're going to probably have it up on the Bills show on Sunday with Dre, the Bills early show. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Make sure y'all are sharing and liking these shoes. Get an opportunity to win the Buffalo Bills Under Armour cleats, Rise Up cleats, and the Philadelphia Eagles Under Armour Rise Up cleats. And we got another pair. I'm not going to share with y'all quite yet. Y'all will see. It's coming. It's nearly done. We thank you all. Thanks. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next week. Everybody be safe out there. God bless. Okay. And thank you. Have a good night.